Taking the scenic route turns every trip into a memorable adventure. Slowing down to soak in the stunning views and hidden gems always make the journey just as exciting as the destination. Keep listening to discover three amazing scenic routes in Washington state. Welcome to RV Out West. I'm Brooks. Based in the Pacific Northwest, my family of four hits the road to explore the best of RV life out west. From hidden gems and epic destinations to helpful tips and real road stories. So grab your coffee and join the journey. You know, there's something magical about taking the scenic route. It's not always the fastest way to get where you're going, but it's usually the one you'll remember. These stretches of roads almost always offer a kind of unexpected beauty if you're willing to slow down and be open to it. And that's the thing. Taking the scenic route is kind of like giving yourself permission to be free. It's as if time slows down. Look, life moves fast between work, kids' activities, and the pressures of just trying to stay on top of everything. Adulting is hard. But when you're winding through the forest roads or hugging the coastline with the windows down, time starts to stretch a little. You notice things. The way the light hits the trees, the hawk circling above, or maybe it's a roadside fruit stand with the best damn cherries you've ever tasted. It's less about the destination and more about what you pick up along the way. So now I always try to carve out time for the detour. Even if it adds an hour or two, there's just something about those slower, pretty drives that fill up your soul just a little bit. It's where the good stories come from. The unplanned stops, the surprise overlooks, and the quiet moments that remind you why you started RVing in the first place. So, yeah, my advice, always take the scenic route. You never know what kind of memories you'll find waiting around the bend. I'm a big fan of Jack Kerouac, and he once wrote in his book On the Road, "Nothing behind me, everything ahead of me, as if ever so on the road." We know the Pacific Northwest is a road tripper's dream that provides these breathtaking drives through Washington, highlighting all of the bioregion's beauty. With coastal highways and alpine passes, lush forests, and winding rivers, Washington brings its own unique charm to the open road. I want to share with you three of the best scenic drives, in my opinion, in Washington state. There's something about the scenic byways of Washington that just stick with you. Maybe it's the way the road suddenly opens up to reveal snow-capped mountains, or how a quiet forest drive surprises you with a hidden lake reflecting the sky. These aren't just routes on a map, they're experiences, each one offering its own rhythm and charm. Whether you're driving along the edges of the cliffs in the Columbia River Gorge or winding your way through the moss-draped trees of the Cascade Mountains, Washington backroads invite you to chill out a bit, breathe deep, and to really soak in the wild that makes this corner of the Pacific Northwest so unforgettable. When I was an undergrad at Western Washington University, I would often take Chuckanut Drive south out of Bellingham. If you've never taken Chuckanut Drive, you're missing out on one of Washington's best kept secrets. I remember the first time I took that winding two-lane road. It was like driving through a postcard. I was a junior, and it was Thanksgiving time, and I was on my way to my parents' house on the south end of Whidbey Island for the holiday. I decided to take the scenic route versus just shooting down I-5. The late fall season, with the leaves all brown and on the ground, while a hallway of trees along the edge of the Salish Sea stretches out, shimmering under the afternoon sun. It's mind-boggling how every curve in the road opens up to another stunning view. Oyster beds at low tide and those hazy outlines of the San Juan Islands in the distance. You can smell the salt in the air mixed with the fresh scent of cedar. It's not a fast drive, but that's the beauty of it. You roll your windows down, take it slow, and let the road show you why people fall in love with this little corner of the Pacific Northwest. State Route 11, also known as Chuckanut Drive, is an iconic 25-mile byway. It is also a road that demands caution, especially after rock slides. On April 22nd, a few months back, a major rock slide happened between milepost 9.5 and 10. The highway has been shut down, and WashDOT crews have currently removed over approximately 5,000 cubic yards of debris, including boulders up to 15 feet across, and they have worked to stabilize the slope. Chuckanut steep cutbacks and geological makeup with the sedimentary sandstone layered with shale make it prone to sudden rockfalls year round. Despite the occasional hazard, the drive remains one of Washington's most scenic. You should plan ahead during the spring and early summer. I'd recommend that you regularly check out WashDOT for current updates and any closure notices. As of the time of this recording, Chuckanut Drive is still closed between mile marker 9.5 and 10. When the coast is clear, though, it's worth every mile. Twisty turns, sea sprayed air, and postcard perfect views are available at every overlook. Ultimately, Chuckanut Drive is an adventure, one that blends these old growth forests, cliffside panoramas, tidal estuaries, and hints of local history. Just respect the drive, check conditions, and savor what might be the most enchanting 40 miles an hour you'll ever travel. I'd like to pause here and hear a word from our longtime sponsor, CamperAlerts.com. It's summertime and the great outdoors are calling. But did you forget to book a campsite 9 months ago? Well, don't worry. Say goodbye to sold out campgrounds with Camper Alerts. With Camper Alerts, you can choose your campground, select your site type, and set a personalized alert. And when a site becomes available, they will notify you. It's that simple. Visit camperalerts.com today and start setting your alerts. Let me tell you, driving the Stevens Pass Greenway is like flipping through a fairy tale in real life. I honestly have been driving Highway 2 for well over, well, let's just say many decades. So much so that even now, especially during the winter months of the snowboard season, I drive it just about every weekend. I love this road. It is probably one of my favorite drives in this state. As you roll out of Monroe, and I'm often with a coffee in hand, the scenery begins to shift. Rolling farmland gives way to towering evergreens, and the air just smells cleaner and crisper. As you climb towards the pass, the Skykomish River dances alongside the road, and old railroad towns like Index and Skykomish feel like time capsules tucked into the mountains. As you crest the pass, you reach an elevation of 4,061 feet, and boom, you spy alpine peaks, waterfalls spilling down rock faces, and that deep, quiet kind of beauty that literally takes your breath away. I mean, still, even to this day, as I round the bend just before the ski area, my breath escapes me and a smile grows across my face. This highway is more than just a drive, it's an experience every single mile. This road does require some deep respect, as there are always a lot of accidents. If you tow it, I recommend you give it even more space than you normally do. Driving east out of Monroe along Highway 2, the Stevens Pass Scenic Byway climbs gently from the Snohomish Valley and into the heart of the Cascades as it follows along the winding Skykomish and Ty rivers. This 70-mile route takes you through the foothills of Sultan, Gold Bar, Index, and Skykomish. As you find yourself cresting the summit, the highway then descends through Tumwater Canyon, a section known for its dramatic cliffs and the rushing Wenatchee River. You definitely should plan for every season. The pass is open year-round, but winter travel conditions can vary. The Washington DOT is good about keeping it plowed, though chain restrictions often apply. Always check mountain weather and road status updates before heading out. I also recommend that anytime you travel into the mountains, you always start the trip with a full tank of fuel. Ultimately, Highway 2 over Stevens Pass delivers a scenic and unforgettable drive of the West Side forests and the alpine splendor. Have you ever taken the Columbia River Gorge Scenic Byway? This drive feels like stepping into a living painting. Each time I drive this stretch of road, all I can do is look at the surrounding beauty and wonder what it must have been like for those early explorers and settlers as they traveled west. The road is old with narrow curves of this historic highway. Go ahead and roll the windows down. Let the wind carry the scent of moss and evergreens. Waterfalls feel like they just appear out of nowhere. Bridal Veil, Wakina, and then Multnomah Falls hits you as if nature is grandstanding and showing off. The cliffs rise high on one side, and on the other, the Columbia River stretches wide and silver, just out of reach, but always there. You pull over at Crown Point, and the view, it'll stop you in your tracks. It's one of those places where even the quiet feels heavy with history and wild beauty. This is not just a drive, it's a slow, soul filling ride through one of the most magical stretches of road you'll ever lay tires on. Driving east from Portland on Interstate 84 through the Columbia River Gorge is a 75-mile interstate drive out to Hood River. As you head east, the city wanes in your rearview mirror and the landscape transforms into dense greenery and then to the drier golden hills as you approach Hood River, a known hub for kiteboarding, foiling, and craft breweries. With multiple viewpoints, rest areas, and river access point, this drive is ideal for road trippers looking to soak in the natural beauty and geological wonder of the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area. If you're planning a trip out to Hood River, or honestly even just thinking about it, you've got to go back and check out episode 72. I dive into everything, the hidden spots you don't want to miss, my favorite breweries, yes, with killer views, and some seriously cool ways to explore the area that most folks overlook. Trust me, give it a listen. Even if you have no plans to visit anytime soon, I bet you'll be adding Hood River to your must-see list before the episode's even over. So yeah, go listen to episode number 72, Pit Stop, Hood River, Oregon. I really want to encourage you to take the scenic routes as often as possible. Seriously, they change everything. It's not just about getting from point A to point B, it's about what you see along the way. Those quiet pullouts with mountain views, the winding roads that dip through the moss covered forests, and those unexpected moments where you round a corner and rising before you is a waterfall or a sweeping view of snow capped peaks. Whether you're driving along Chuckanut Drive with the Salish Sea sparkling below, or you find yourself climbing through the mountainous curves of Highway 2 along the Stevens Pass Greenway, these three scenic drives let you experience the state in a slow, immersive way that just feels right. What I love most is how every scenic byway in Washington has its own rhythm and story. Washington State is home to 29 official scenic byways, weaving through over 4,000 miles of diverse, jaw dropping scenery. They include 8 national scenic byways, such as the Stevens Pass Greenway, 2 All American Roads, which is an elite designation, including the Chinook Pass Scenic Byway and the International Selkirk Loop, and 19 state and federal agency byways like Chuckanut Drive and the Columbia River Gorge. If you're looking for more detailed information on the scenic byways throughout Washington state, be sure to go back and listen to episode 92, Discover the Beauty of Washington State's Scenic Byways. In that episode, we chat with Jennifer Coleman, publisher of Scenic Washington, and we talk all about the various scenic byways right here in Washington state, highlighting what makes each one unique. If you've been craving more than just another trip, take the scenic way next time. Choosing this route transforms your journey from a simple drive into an experience filled with discovery and wonder. Instead of rushing past, you slow down and really soak in the landscapes. It's on these winding roads where the open highway becomes more than pavement. It becomes a path to freedom, peace, and inspiration, reminding you just how good the wind in your hair can truly be. Thank you again for listening to RV Out West. If you got value from this episode, Do me a favor and make sure to follow the podcast in your podcast app so that you don't miss the next one. It's free, it helps the show, and it lets you know when there is a fresh new episode. I would very much appreciate it. In 1 week, I'm going to share with you all about Bellingham, the city by the bay. It's where I went to university and I spent a lot of my early adulthood formative years living there. To this day, I go back there, but now I go with a different perspective. I'm excited to share with you some fun things to see and do the next time you may find yourself in Whatcom County. Be sure to tune in next Monday. Thanks for listening to RV Out West. Be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed the show, tell a friend and please leave a rating or a review. It would mean a lot. Special thanks to Scott Home Music for our intro song, We Are One. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook to join in on the conversation. Now, get out there, explore, and go see what's beyond the horizon.